What is going on, guys? I am beyond excited for this one because I'm going to share with you my number one business model that's been funding my high-priced lifestyle for the past 3 years and also helping hundreds of others quit their full 9 to 5 and transition into something where you can have an uncapped income online, work when you want and work where you want. So I'm going to be breaking it down step by step on everything that you need to do to start an SMMA this year. Now, while you're here and I have your full attention, I want you to go in a quiet room, close out all of your tabs and take notes, because what I'm going to share with you guys here in this video is something that I've never shared in the SMMA space or in any of my other trainings as well. So stick until the very end to learn about my big giveaway and how you can win it. Total side note, there's going to be multiple winners, so you have a nice chance of winning. But for that to make sense, you're going to want to watch the entire video, not scroll around, like actually pay attention, because I promise you this info will change your life. So I'm going to start sharing my screen during this presentation. So let's just jump into it. All right, without further ado, how to start your social media marketing agency this year. What we're going to cover in this video is the following. Number one, is this business right for you? Because a lot of times I see a lot of people get in this space and then they end up quitting. So it's better to find out beforehand if this is even a good business model for you. Next, we're going to go over what exactly an SMMA is and how it's different than the traditional agency models that are out there. And then following that, we're going to cover which niches to avoid and which niches to go all in on. I think that's a very big misconception in this space, is where everybody comes in and they think, oh, I'll go after real estate agents, I'll go after dentists, chiros, car dealerships. If that's what you're thinking, then you're definitely going to want to watch this video, because I got some ideas for you. And then from the niches, we're going to go into how to actually get clients, because I've seen this be a very big issue with a lot of my students, is how to get clients. So I'm going to be sharing with you some of the strategies that we use inside our 7-figure agency and how you can implement them yourself by the time this video is done. And then lastly, probably the most important, is once you have all this together, how to actually get results for your clients. So let's just jump into it. Is this business right for you? If you guys know me, I'm a pretty straightforward guy, so I'm just going to give it to you straight on here, and then you can make a decision after this video if this is a good business model for you. So first things first, let's just talk about the cons, right? When you're going into a business, you have to have self-discipline. If you think this is something where it's going to be an overnight magic pill and you're going to become a millionaire within a couple of days, chances are you probably need to get your mindset right, because it does require a lot of self-discipline. I want you to think about this as you're going into it as almost like a roller coaster of emotions. So if you're prepared for that, then you can check that one off and you're good to go. The next is there's going to be a lot more work. You know, if you're working a 9 to 5 right now, you can probably get away with a lot of things. You know, the boss says do something, you turn it in a week later, whatever. Like at this point, you have to have the discipline in place and you have to be motivated to get your own work done. And lastly, there's no guarantee of success. So if you're going to be going in this business model, be aware of that not everybody succeeds. And to be honest with you, most people don't. And a little side tip for you, most people don't just because they quit. If you ever look at a online entrepreneur that's been doing this for more than 5 years, they're all successful. They're all making money because they just don't quit. So a side tip for you on this is never just don't quit, and you can't fail. You'll fail your way forward. Now, the next part is the pros. You get freedom, unlimited freedom, because you are working for yourself. You're working when you want, you're working where you want. And it's ultimately building a business that sustains. And it's ultimately building a business that floats your freedom. So you can work for yourself. You don't have a boss. That's, I think, one of the most important things on here is like you have your own schedule. You work for yourself. You are your own boss. And there's no cap on income. So I know a lot of times, especially as we were taught growing up, or at least I was, is go to school, get good grades, go work a 9 to 5, climb yourself up the corporate ladder. And the cool thing is times have changed, right? I was talking to my parents about this the other day, and they're like, that's how we were taught to grow up. And that's how it was for them. But now, since the internet is a thing, if you guys are not making money online, or at least entertaining the idea, now is your golden opportunity, because it's still almost like the gold rush. Like there's so much more potential where this is going, and you'll want to make sure that you're in. If you're not in now, it's time to jump in. So there's no cap on income, which I love. You can work when you want, where you want, work for yourself, and ultimately be your own boss. I think the main thing to kind of sum this up is if you're going to do this, you got to understand that there are going to be sacrifices, but the sacrifices will be worth it in the long run. Next, let's talk about what exactly is an SMA and why it's different than the traditional advertising models. SMMA, it's a very popular business model with thousands of other agency owners adopting this and really transforming their lives. So the real question is, what does SMA even stand for? Well, it stands for Social Media Marketing Agency. And technically, any business that offers social media marketing is an SMA, but things have transformed a little bit over the previous years. Now, SMAs are typically remote and they don't have offices. Now, most of these traditional marketing agencies offer a wide variety of services like SEO, graphic design, video, branding, social media management, blog writing, paid traffic, photos, chatbots, basically you name it. That's what these traditional marketing agencies provided. They basically just service a lot of different offers to their clients, and they have a big team behind them. They have account directors, account management, account executives, creative teams, management teams, all kinds of different departments. And they offer just a lot of different things to their clients. And they often require large offices to house all of their staff and impress their clients. But SMAs, on the other hand, are a little bit different. They don't have offices. There's no overhead except software expenses. And they're definitely different from the traditional type of agency models because it's basically like an SMA. It's typically just one service, which allows them to become highly specialized in this service and outperform other agency owners or other bigger agencies who have different services. So think about it, for example, like this. When you go to a big agency, they're going to try to do PR. They're going to do your Facebook, Instagram, Google SEO, chatbots, photos, branding, everything. Whereas an SMA is just one piece of that pie, right? Like some of these agencies can charge $20,000, $30,000, whereas SMAs, the price really varies from anywhere from like $1,000 to $10,000 a month. Sometimes you have clients that are even more than that, but it's particularly one service. And we'll go over the services here in a second, but just know like SMAs are more specialized in one service, which kind of makes them stand out and makes it something so you don't have to have a big in-house team to really grow this, which ultimately means SMAs tend to be more profitable than traditional agencies because less overhead, less employees, and more just freedom to be able to work with who you want and where you want. So now that you know what an SMA is, it's important to understand the right mindset you need to go into this type of business model to see success. Because if you remember from the beginning, if you didn't skip around, we were talking about how it's almost like a roller coaster of emotions. And what I found with this is you need to master your mindset before you master anything else. You can learn all the skill sets in the world, but if you don't have the right mindset going into this, then you might as well forget it. So this is a very important one. I highly suggest you take notes. You should be taking notes throughout this whole thing, but this is a very good one right now. I'm going to share with you the 6 and 7 figure mindset hacks to help you get through those emotions of roller coaster of emotions that are just going to be playing through your head. So biggest tip I can give you is simplicity is key. Don't overcomplicate it. People try doing a million different things. And the moral of the story with this is the riches are in the niches. So if you can master one niche, one offer, and then become the best you possibly can at that, you're going to see a lot of success in this space. I see a lot of people go in here, and if they don't see immediate results, they quit and say this niche doesn't work, or this offer doesn't work, or these people are broke. I'm going to try something else. And that's the worst mindset you could potentially have, because if you just stick at it and continue to get better and better, you'll make better results, and your clients will see that, and you'll start getting that word of mouth referral program going. You'll get a bunch of clients coming to you. And this all kind of comes down to just understanding that you are starting a brand new business. I mean, it's okay if you get frustrated, just don't quit and you will make it. Kind of like what I was talking about earlier is if you look at anyone that's been in the online space for more than 3 or 4 years, everyone that's been doing this for a while has seen success because they just keep going and failing their way forward. That's exactly what I did. If you guys know much about my first story, like the first business owner I ever talked to when I was in college, I went in and I spoke, but no words came out. It sounded like I was speaking a different language, but guess what? That motivated me to go out there and talk to more and more and more. And quickly, I became one of the best sales reps in my local, in that area that I was doing sales for, and then quickly transitioned to starting my own agency. There's another video down below where you can go and see some more information on my story, but this is more in particular to helping you start this. So just understand, like, you are starting a business. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs. And the more you just go through it and fail your way forward, the better success you're going to see. So the next thing behind mindset and really advancing to the next level is understanding your surroundings. Like, check your environment. I think that's the biggest thing, your environment, your friends, your family, like who you're spending time with. Because there's that, that main saying out there, you are the sum of the 5 friends you spend the most time with, right? Well, that's really true. If your friends are going out and getting drunk, well, guess what? Or doing drugs, like, you're probably going to be doing that too. If your friends are all overweight, guess what? You're probably going to be overweight too. So I can't harp on this enough. Your surrounding, the environment, your friends and your family are the biggest thing ever. Very quickly on me, as soon as I started making money in here, I jumped around. I moved to California for a little bit, and now I'm in Miami just so I could be in the right environment. And it wasn't an easy process. Like, I had some really good friends in college that still to this day, I still love to death, but I had to stop hanging out with them because they wanted to just keep going out on the weekends. And for me, I loved doing that in college and stuff. But once I got into my own business model, I knew I had to separate myself from those type of people. And again, nothing wrong with them. It's just our goals. We had different goals in line, right? So again, be conscious of your environment and the friends and family that you're spending your time with. Now, let's get into the fun stuff of finding your clients and getting clients to start paying you. Step 1, it all comes down to choosing the right niche. Niche. There's probably 10 different names. Let me know down in the comments how you pronounce it, because still to this day, I don't know what the correct one is. I've heard 10 different ways, but point being is you got to get into the right industry. And I always say, when you go after the guru niches, which are, if you go online and you Google which industry should I go after, they're going to tell you chiros, gems, dentists, real estate, blah, blah, blah. And to be honest with you, the real truth is most people don't actually run an agency and then teach it. I myself do. I run an agency that's automated and I teach it. And that's why I come on here to throw shade at those type of people, because I honestly think it's annoying how someone, they get a client and they come out here and they try teaching the subject like they're a pro, right? They give false information. The stuff I'm going to share with you here is stuff that I've spent 5 years learning. And the biggest thing I can tell you is don't go after real estate. Don't go after dentists. Don't go after gyms. Don't go after chiros unless you have an in with them. Maybe your dad's a chiro or something, or your uncle. Like, if that's the case, then you're good. But if you have zero experience and don't have any connects, go after more of a blue ocean industry. And I have some ideas down here for you. But before I jump into those, let me just kind of tell you, a blue ocean industry is something that is a blue ocean, right? You look at a red ocean, there's 1,000 fish swimming in there, and there's a blue ocean. There's some small fish swimming, they're eating everything. They're doing really well, right? And that's the mentality you want to go after. Is like, if you look at a red ocean, real estate, every single person I talk to that starts an agency goes into real estate because they're passionate about eventually getting into real estate at some point. Like, most of the time, that's it. And set that passion aside, make more money in a blue ocean, then invest it into your passion into real estate. That's what I always tell everybody. So here's a couple ideas of things you can go into. Laser hair removal, car detailing, tree removal service, home improvement industries. These are just some ideas. I actually have clients in all of these, and they're absolutely crushing. So one of the main things I help clients do is pivot into one of these red oceans and get the right offer in place so you scale the right way. And again, just make sure when you're doing this, you're going into the right industry. That's probably one of the biggest things that I would say. If you're going to spend time to do, research the right industry. Now, don't get stuck in analysis paralysis stage, because that is a real thing, but just know you want to be different. So step 2, in order to prospect and get these clients, get a list. The easiest way to do this is go out there and just buy a list off sites like Fiverr, Upwork, D7 Lead Finder. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that right now. If you want more, let me know down in the comments. Be happy to create a video on that. But basically what you want to do is go data scrape a list. There's softwares I listed right here where you can go and, like, let's say you wanted a list of, let's say we wanted to do laser hair removal, right? You would go to D7 Lead Finder, type in laser hair removal, buy the list. It's like a subscription you can pay. And then it'll give you a list of all the laser hair removal people in, like, you can do a state, you can do a city. You can even get all the states if you wanted. That's what we do. And then you go out there and you find them on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you call them, you email them, like, do whatever you can to get in contact with them and just highlight them as you go through. And once you do that, you're going to be able to get in contact with these people. And the more you talk to them, the better you're going to be able to build your offer and the more confidence you're going to build up as you're going through here. So that's what I'd recommend. The other thing you can do is always create your list. You can go on Google and start searching yourself. Maybe you don't have funds for buying a list, but honestly, if you go to sites like Fiverr, you can get a pretty cheap list. D7 Lead Finder is really good. There's a lot of softwares out there, but here's just a couple that I put up here that you could go check out yourself. Now, step 3, crafting your message and picking your method. So kind of like what we were talking about a second ago is the more you do this, the more people you talk to, the more you're going to understand what they want and what they need. It's a very important thing. If you're taking notes right now, write that down. Is you want to find out what your ideal client wants and what they need, and then sell them on that. So your messaging behind everything is key. Reach out like a genuine person. I spelled genuine wrong here, but we're just going to keep rolling with this. Is be a genuine person when you're reaching out to these people, right? Like, don't be a robot. If you're going to send robotic messages, like, you're just forget it, right? And it's okay if you're going to do it at first, but just learn as you go, tweak the script and keep going and keep getting better. Videos work really well if you're good on camera. If you're not good on camera and you're super awkward, don't worry. It's okay. Test different messages. I personally, if I were to go back and find some videos right now and showed you guys, for me sending video DM messages 3 or 4 years ago, you would be dying laughing because I'm super skinny. I have a comb over and I'm just like, hey, if you would just let me give you a free trial, blah, blah, blah. It was embarrassing. But point being is it worked. I still to this day have a client that I gave a free trial to almost 4 years ago now that has still been paying me $2,000 every single month for those years and has not missed a month. It's just from a simple video DM. And that's what I'm saying about this stuff. It can really be life-changing money when you do it right. So figure out what works best for you and craft that message. Next is figuring out what platforms you want to use. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, etc. Master one first. I mean, honestly, with this, like, I would just test them all and see what's working best for you, what you're getting replies on, and then double down on that. And I'll give you an example. Just because LinkedIn works well for me doesn't mean it's going to work well for you. Just because IG works well for Johnny Boy down the street doesn't mean it's going to work well for you. That's why I love this business model, because you get to play to your strengths and build your own strengths. So figure out what works best for you and then go all in on that. And set basic KPIs. Now, KPIs, key performance indicators, this is going to be different depending on everybody watching this video. If you are brand new, I'd say at bare minimum, you should be getting out 50 outreaches a day. What is an outreach? An outreach is a message you send to somebody, a prospect. Say like, hey, so-and-so, I saw that you were in the hair tree removal service space, and I want to talk to you about how we are helping some of our tree removal clients get 30 tree removals each and every single month. Is that something you'd be open to? Now, again, that was completely butchered. I would highly suggest you clean that up a little bit and make it sound better for what you're doing. But that is like a basic reach out. I see the biggest issue with a lot of people in the space is they get like 3 or 4 messages out a day, some even a week, and they're like, well, this doesn't work for me. No, you're just not getting enough reach outs. So make sure you're hitting your KPIs each week. Tip number 2 is if you're somebody that's going to sit here and say, this doesn't work, it does. Trust me, it does. There's thousands of people that's making it work. Most of the time, it's just your copy. So Don't come up with excuses. Just come up with better ways to do what you're doing. Step 4, online meetings. After you start prospecting, you're going to start talking to people. And I highly suggest that you do a two-step close where you get them on a call, qualify them, and then if they're a good fit, put them on a demo presentation, which we can cover more in detail. Actually, I've got something for you. Stick until the end. I'll show you how. But talk about on these calls, you're just going to set up an online meeting, right? All of these meetings can be done online. You can go in person if you really wanted. I personally have not been in a in-person meeting for over 3 years now. I used to only do in-person meetings, but business owners are busy. You're busy. You got life going on as well. So just do it online. Use Zoom or Google Meets. And when you do this, you're going to want to present your offer and come up with some screenshots, presentation. If you're just getting started, one thing I did was I would just go in there and I would just randomly pitch it. And from there, I would just find out what they want, what they need, and then sell them on it, and then show them like if I had results, which I started getting because the more clients you get, is then I would start like actually sharing my screen saying, oh, well, here's this client right now. These are leads we're generating for them. And when you're presenting your services, this is kind of the model that you want to go after, is asking smart questions, finding out what they need, and becoming the solutionist. I almost want to refer to it as like you being the bridge from these are the issues they're having to this is a solution that you can provide. And you're just that bridge, right? And then from there, you close the deal. So I think the easiest way to kind of give you ideas on this is if you don't know much, just get on a call and start asking questions. Find out, be like, cool. So what are you doing for marketing? How's that going for you? What are you looking for? Why are you looking for that? Tell me more about that. Like the best salespeople are the ones that can just ask smart questions. So after you get your clients, say you go through all this, you prospect really well, you craft your message, you get your client. The next part is getting them results. And you first want to figure out what service you are offering. I would highly suggest you figure out what service you're offering before you pitch it to your client. You could even go on there and just sell it and then fulfill, like find some way to fulfill on the back end, which I'm going to share with you here in a second, which is what I used to do because I got really good at selling, but I couldn't fulfill. And I'll tell you how I fixed that. But the thing you want to figure out is, be familiar with your services. And the services you can offer are social media management, lead generation, email marketing, chatbot management, LinkedIn management, LinkedIn lead generation. Like there's so many offers. You could Google it honestly and find out some more. But honestly, I'm just going to save you the time. I suggest that you just go into lead generation because that's where the money's at and get your client the best results. When I first got into space, I bought into, it was one of Tai Lopez's course. And if you don't know who he is, he kind of started the SMMA trend. And it was a good course, but I mean, his thing was like, oh, you could do email marketing, you could do Instagram management, Facebook ads, chat bots. Like it told you to do everything. So I pitched that to my clients and I got clients, but I overworked myself to death because I couldn't even get them results. Once I found out just to do lead generation only, my life changed. So here's the easy way to fulfill. You have two options, really. One, you can learn to do it yourself. What I did at first, I took the long way because I wanted to learn how to do it all myself and watch YouTube videos, read online articles, buy online courses, find mentors, or you could simply just go find a white label team to do the back end. If I were to go back, and this is what we actually tell our clients now and provide for our clients in our white label fulfillment team, I would say like, focus on sales. Don't focus on the fulfillment side because you need to be the CEO of this business, right? And if you can just focus on sales and then just have the confidence that you have a full team behind you to do the fulfillment, then you'll be in good hands. As far as white labeling, there's a lot of different ways you can go about it. Go find some people in Facebook groups. You can go to Fiverr. You can go to Upwork. You can Google it. Honestly, you could just go online and Google white label and then find that price, include it in your package, and then you're good. Now, if you did want to learn how to do it yourself, I actually created an entire video walking you through A to Z on how to create a successful online lead generation campaign with images and real life examples. This one's actually for a chiropractor, but you can use the same exact strategies I personally use in here and go do it yourself for any business, and it'll work really well. So I'll leave a link down in this description if you want to check that out as well. All right, next steps, go click the link down below and I'll show you everything you need to know to get your first 3 paying clients and give you the proven scripts, the meeting presentations, really just everything to fast track your success. Honestly, there's just not enough time on this video. So go ahead and click that down there. You can grab it. It's fairly cheap. Honestly, you would be blown away with the amount of information you're going to get in there. And for that small investment, you're going to be able to 10x, even 100x that back into something else that provides for you for the rest of your life. So go ahead, click that link down below. And then also, I am giving away a big giveaway. And all you got to do is comment down below this video, why SMA is the best business model. And for every 50 comments, I'm going to give away 1 hour free consultation call with myself. And to be honest with you, I don't really do consultation calls anymore. The last one I did, I charged someone $900 for. So you can have that for a chance to win for free. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to get this message out to more people. I want more people to quit their 9-to-5s. I want more people to focus in on the online space. And the best way to do that is by commenting down below. So we boost this up in the algorithm. So if you could do me a solid, comment down below, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. We got a lot of free content we're giving out. And then if you want that agency starter course, go click that link as well. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.